Howdy, my name is Jacob Wallace, and this is my program activity assignment number 2. My topic is going to be cleanup time and ways to facilitate youth to help in cleaning up after program activities. Now, we all know that youth love to participate in games, but when it comes time to take care of the mess they've made, they're not as enthusiastic to help us clean up. So these are going to be some programs that we can use for differing age groups of kids to get them involved in the cleanup process. So the first one we're going to start with is Clean Up Marco Polo. This is going to be a game that has youth in middle and high school in mind. So the purpose of this activity is to facilitate youth's help in cleaning up in a fun and energizing manner. We're going to need an area that needs to be cleaned, and the only supplies we're going to need is a bandana. Our objectives for this are that youth will actively participate in cleaning, the assigned area will be cleaned, and that the youth will have fun. So how this game works is the youth will be instructed of the rules of the game. So after spinning in 10 circles in the center of the room, the instructor will wear a blindfold and start listening for the youth. The youth's job is to, as quietly as possible, begin cleaning up the room. If a youth makes a noise, the instructor will seek them out like in Marco Polo and attempt to tag them. When a youth is tagged, they become it and they take the place of the instructor, placing a bandana over their eyes, spinning in a circle 10 times in the middle of the room, and then targeting other youth that are cleaning. This is supposed to be a fun way to facilitate their help, trying to avoid being tagged as it while being productive in the process. So when we're reflecting, we're going to ask, was it hard to stay quiet while attempting to clean? Did we get any enjoyment out of cleaning without being caught? And did this activity make cleaning more enjoyable? Some ways we can apply this is asking youth, seeing how this game made cleaning more engaging and fun, what game-like strategies can you apply in your daily life to make mundane tasks more enjoyable? So if they did in fact enjoy the cleaning process more, we want them really to sit with and analyze, especially since these are our middle to high school agers. What ways can we turn things in our life into a game so that we can then make our own tasks easier to accomplish? So at the very end, if we evaluate, if at the end of the activity the youth were actively engaged in cleaning, then our first objective was met. If the room is clean at the end of the activity, then our second objective is met. And if the youth express their enjoyment participating in our program, then our third objective has been met. So next is going to be animal attributes. This is a game for very young kids around the first, second grade age group. The purpose of this activity is to engage young participants in cleaning while introducing some knowledge of the animal kingdom. Our objectives are going to be able to clean up the room after the last activity, that youth will actively participate in helping us clean, and that youth will learn a new attribute about an animal they hadn't already known. So what we're going to need for this is an area that needs to be cleaned, and for supplies, we'll need cutouts of different animals with text boxes expressing attributes associated with that animal. So how this will work is the instructor will hold up cutouts of the animals with text bubbles explaining associated attributes. Jackrabbits are the fastest, turtles the slowest and steadiest, squirrels store things away, bats are fast and fearless, etc., including as many animals as there are youth associated with this program. The instructor will then briefly act out the attributes of each shown animal in case our kids don't exactly know what that animal is or understand the attributes associated with it. After this, each youth will be assigned an animal. The youth will be instructed to help clean up in a way they think that their assigned animal would. Instructors will, of course, be in character as well, going around the room making sure that our first and second graders are in character as well as cleaning. So how we reflect on this is we ask the kids, what are some ways that your animal helped clean? Give them some ownership, tie it back to the animal. Did your animal enjoy the tasks when cleaning? Kind of put them in that mindset of, did I have fun while I was participating in this? And to lead into our applications, we're going to ask, do you think that your animal would be just as good at cleaning up as home as they are here? We want to get into the mindset of the youth that this can be applied to their home life as well. So a few applications for this is we're going to have them take out the cutout of their favorite animal and show it to their parents so that they can be associated with that. We want to think about how our peers helped us understand animals we weren't familiar with. We also want to ask, how could your animal's attribute help you when it's time to clean at home? So when you get home, are you able to use the fastness of the jackrabbit to help clean your room a little bit better. For an evaluation, if after the room is cleaned, after the end of the activity, then our first objective is met. If the youth are actively and enjoyably participating in helping cleaning, then our second objective has been met. And if the animal attributes helped us better understand the animal kingdom, then our final objective is met. So next, we're going to move on to 4 in a row. This is a game for our youth entering anywhere from 5th to 8th grades, so our pre-middle school high schoolers. So the purpose of this activity is for youth to compete with their peers while cleaning up after the past activity. Our objectives are to be competitive with other youth in a safe environment, that the youth actively and enjoyably participate in cleaning up and assistance, and that our room ends up being cleaned. Our strategy for this is going to make it a competition. So what we'll need for this activity is we'll need a whiteboard with a 4x4 grid, that or a poster board. Each section of the grid will include specific cleaning related tasks. We'll print out a score sheet that is associated with the whiteboard, and each group will be given a sheet that associates with the whiteboard. We'll also need some prizes such as candy or small toys for those who complete the activity. The instructors will also need their own stamp and ink pad. So the youth will be divided into groups depending on the amount of youth in the program, so anywhere from 2 to 5 per group. Each group will then receive a score sheet that corresponds with the 4x4 grid whiteboard, whose boxes contain specific cleaning tasks. Once a task is complete, instructors will stamp the youth's sheet to the corresponding task. For every set of 4 in a row, up and down, diagonal, right to left, that the youth complete, they'll receive a prize. So the purpose behind this is to create a sense of competition between the youth. There's a limited amount of cleaning activities to do, and in order to win a prize, I have to prioritize cleaning and getting those activities done. It also facilitates them to enjoy the cleaning process by making them compete with their peers. So we'll reflect by asking, was competing with your peers fun? Did having an objective make cleaning more fun? And were you able to complete as many tasks as you would have liked to? And this last question kind of leads into, how can we prioritize our time better? Were we goofing off with our friends, and did we miss out on the opportunity to win a prize like our other friends did? What could we have done to be more productive? So from applications for this, we can ask, how can competition be a beneficial motivator for us? A lot of kids are involved in so many different activities that are competition-based. School can be competition-based. Sports are competition-based. Band can be competition-based. So how can we use this competition mindset as a motivator for ourselves? And then, of course, what ways can we use these games and competitions in our day-to-day life to motivate us to get work done? Can we create a competition with ourselves or with others to get our homework done, to get chores around the house done? How can we use this to be more productive in our day-to-day life? When we're evaluating, we'll take a look at if the youth had a competitive spirit. If they did, our first objective is met. If the youth are enjoyably cleaning up the room, then we've met our second objective. And then, of course, if the room is clean by the end of the program, we have met our final objective. So this next youth program can be for youth in any age group. This is a very versatile game that can be dumbed down to the younger students and brought up to the older students as well. So the goal for this activity is that youth participate in cleaning up. There really isn't much other of a mindset to this. For your older kids, you can make it a competition. Younger kids as well, but you want to be a little bit careful with that. We'll get into that in a second. So our objectives are that the youth are athletically participating and exhausting some of their energy. Sometimes our youth can get a little bit pent up towards the end of a program, and we don't want to send them home to mom and dad just bundling balls of energy. We want to have facilitated some of that excess and exhaust some of that excess energy. Our second objective will be that youth assisted in cleaning up the room. And then our final objective will be that youth had fun. So the only thing that you need for this activity is an area that needs to be cleaned and a stopwatch. How this will work is that the group leader will show the youth the stopwatch and, depending on the age, explain what a stopwatch is to them. The instructor will challenge the youth to complete cleaning under X amount of time, or if your program is consistent of multiple groups, the instructor will challenge the youth to have beaten or be faster than someone else's time. For instance, if you've got a group of 3rd and 4th graders, you can tell the 3rd graders, Well, the fourth graders said they would get it done in 10 minutes. Until the fourth graders, well, the third graders said they'd get it done in 9 minutes. And that way we can facilitate some type of speed with this 10-second cleanup. The programmers will tell youth that the timer will only be stopped when materials are properly put away and cleaned. We want to emphasize speed, but we also want to emphasize that we pay attention to detail and do the correct tasks. If we rush and don't do it correctly, then we will not win the game. So not only is this an emphasis on cleaning as fast as we can, it's on efficiency and doing things the proper way. The group leader will begin the timer to start the race and end it only when youth have successfully cleaned the room. Emphasis on successfully, and that'll be a big part of our reflect and apply in the next section. So the first question is just for fun. Do we think we had the fastest time? And why or why not? Is there anything that held us up from having the fastest time? Did racing make cleaning more enjoyable? And then a big emphasis on this last question. Did we make a mistake in cleaning that kept the timer running after we thought we were done? And this will really lead into our apply section. So I want the youth to be considering, did we get sloppy? Did we get messy? Did we skip over something to try and get that instant gratification as opposed to delayed gratification? So when we're applying, we can first look at how can we use races to get our work done at home? How can we incentivize ourselves with cleaning games to get our homework, our projects, our work done? And then most importantly, we want to apply this if the timer was still running because we didn't clean properly. How can we make sure that we're doing our jobs correctly? And how do we balance speed and accuracy? Now, of course, this type of reflection and application is going to be a little bit for our older age kids. It's something that you want to instill in your youth, but you can't ask as complex of questions. For the little kids, we'll have to kind of spell out for them. Well, you didn't do X and you said you were done, and we know that if we don't put X away, then we're not done. So make sure you're doing all the tasks. But for our older age groups, it goes to show that there's going to be more intricate cleaning details. Did they just shove something in a drawer? What was it that kept them from completing the task? And how can they make sure to be fast and efficient when they're working through these programs? So when we're evaluating this program, if the youth have expressed their excess energy, we have met our first objective. If at the end of the game the room is clean, we've met our second objective. And if youth are expressing their enjoyment or displaying laughter and smiles during the game, then we've met our third objective. So I've saved the best for last because this is a classic cleanup strategy and one that I think we are all familiar with, and it's going to be the cleanup song. So this is a game song that is catered towards the youngest group, those that aren't very aware of what cleaning up is, the youngest groups we can have in our programs. And the purpose of this activity is for youth to use music as a productive motivator to clean up their area. So our three objectives are as follows. First, we want youth to become familiar with and sing along to the cleanup song. This song is used from anywhere from preschool up until about second grade, until it starts to wear off on its effectiveness. We want to instill this in our youth so that this can be a strategy that other programmers can use, as it is a wide-known strategy. We'll also want the youth to clean the room. Since this is our youngest category, this is going to be our most challenging group to get to clean. And it's going to be twofold. One, because they might just not understand. And two, because they will have a reluctancy to do anything that they consider not fun. So the only supplies we'll need for this is a poster board with a cleanup song displayed on it. And the reason we'll need the poster board is that we're hoping that this is a group that isn't as familiar with the song so that we can introduce the song to them. It'll be much easier if they have a read-along, or even if they can't quite read yet, some type of visual to help jog their memory in the future of this activity. So how we'll facilitate this is that the group leader will introduce the cleanup song, instructor will play the music or sing the song, and then the group leader will go over the verses while showing the poster board displaying the song to familiarize youth with the song. The youth will be instructed that while the song is sung, toys are to be cleaned up. And then, of course, the instructor will begin to sing the song and clean up, as well as facilitating youth to sing along and clean as well. Our reflect for this is going to be fairly simple. Did we enjoy the song, and did the cleanup song make cleaning more fun? And then the application is, Do we think we can use the cleanup song at home when it's time to clean as well? To evaluate this, if youth are singing along to the cleanup song, then our first objective is met. If our supplies are cleaned up by the end of the activity, then our second objective is met. And finally, if youth show signs of enjoyment while cleaning and singing, then the third objective is met. All of these programs are going to be beneficial in so that they help us get youth to clean. Everyone at the end of a program has had a great time and wants to go home, but of course we got to get our hands dirty and clean up before we can. So I hope that you have found these as useful youth strategies in order to help facilitating cleaning from youth of all ages. Okay, so all of our programs are done for the day, and you know what that means? After all the fun we've had today, we do need to clean up at the end because we want to have it just as tidy tomorrow morning when we get here so that we're able to enjoy it just as much as we did this morning. Now, to help us clean up, we're going to sing a little song. Some of you guys may know this song and some of you may not, so we're going to teach it to everyone before we start to clean up. So the song is going to go like this. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. So those of you that know the song know that while we're singing the song, we're picking stuff up, we're putting it back in the cabinets, we're putting our crayons away, we're making sure that all the garbage is in the garbage cans. So what we'll do is we'll read through it a few more times and then we're all going to sing it together. If you don't quite know it yet, just look at the poster board and you can read along, but while you're reading along, be walking around and picking stuff up. We'll be singing this song at the end of every day while we clean up, and by the end of the program, at the end of the week, I'm not going to have the poster board anymore, and you'll need to be able to sing it from memory. So get yourself as familiar with the song as you can, but we'll go through it a few more times, and then we're going to sing it. We're going to start cleaning, and then everyone can go home, get some good sleep, and come back fresh in the morning. So it goes clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. So whenever we start singing the song, that's when everyone's going to start cleaning. So it'll go clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. So when I start singing, everyone will gather along and then we'll get to cleaning.